Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Katia Oral. And I'm gonna talk about the. It's not the first thing that I realized that I was growing up, like making decisions like an adult. It was, I think, it was the second one. When I was 21, I was in college and I decided to go on to another country to take classes, like one semester out. And I never thought about it because I couldn't afford it at that time. But my best friends from college told me that maybe I can get into a program and have money for the school to help me to go out. And I was like, I don't think they're gonna give me like money in my hands to go to another country. It was like for me it was too good to be true. But she told me like, yeah, you can fill these forms and try it. So I decided like, oh, why not? I'm gonna try it. So at that time, I was very open person, independent. My mother's always worked, and I had a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than me, and I always take care of him because my mother got divorced when I was 3, so we always were by ourselves. And I said like, of course I can handle it. I can go to another place and do my stuff because I was always independent and taking care of myself and my brother too. So I start filling the application and I get loan, the loan.
Do you have to pay it back?
No.
Scholarship.
A scholarship, and they give me $3,000 to go to another country. So I decided to go a place with Spanish speakers because I didn't know another language. So my first thought it was about going to Argentina, but it was a very expensive college down there, and I had to pay like mine and the other two. So it was like a very hard to do that. So I decided to go to Chile, Santiago, because they have a good program in my career, but nobody went to that school that year. It was just me from my school. They have a big like foreign community, like foreign students, but nobody from my school. So when I get there, it was just by myself, and I didn't organize like well the trip. I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna take this and that class, and but I thought that I can find a place when I get there. I never, I tried to look at a place to stay, but everything was full or very expensive. So I say, okay, I'm gonna write down like places like hostels, and when I get there, I can call and say, you have space or you have ability, and but when I get there, I saw like in the computer a nice hostel, but when I get there, it was so different from the page. It was like very dirty and old, and in a bad neighborhood. And I start crying and crying because I was so scared and so far from my house. And the big problem it was that I never thought about it was I was going to have problems to communicate with the people because I was thinking about they speak Spanish, but it's so different. The slangs that they use is very different. A lot of things, the names of the things are different. So at the beginning, I was feeling like it was another language. It was totally different. I couldn't even like have a simple conversation about how are you doing, because I couldn't understand anything. The way that they talk is very different, and they put all the words like they don't say like the whole word, just put line and put they put together like
Abbreviate,
part,
yeah.
yeah. But they abbreviate like different. Okay, I can abbreviate in Spanish, but it's different. So when I so when I get there, I was thinking about going back home, but I didn't have money to going back. First of all, because I had money for like a couple of months more to live there. But if I was spending that money to buy a ticket and going back, I couldn't have like I couldn't take classes in my country because I already signed up for classes there, and I was going to lose the semester, and I had a loans, and if I lose the semester, I lose the loans and everything. So it was impossible. It wasn't an option. So the only person that I know there, it was the contact for the university. Then I decided to call her and cry and say, I don't know what to do, where to go, whatever. So she helped me to find a family to live with. And it was nice, in a nice neighborhood, a nice couple. Everything was okay, but it was expensive for me. Uh, but in the area, it was like a kind of like what East 6th Street, like a lot of restaurants and things like that. So I found a Mexican restaurant there, and the owner, it was a Mexican guy who married a Chilean woman. So I went there and I say, hey, maybe you need a waitress or something. And they give me the job. So I start working and going to school. But the hard part of that was that, okay, at the same time in Chile, they changed the plan, like the schedule for the public transport, because they extended the lines for the metro, so they took off a lot of buses, and everyone was like a mess in the street. Like if you were trying to get the metro, it was always full. You couldn't even go in, and they all only have service in the metro until 10 p.m., something like that. So during the night, it was just a couple of buses. And the job that I got, it was at night. And it was better because you have like a dinner, like customers, and it's more tips and everything. But when I was going back home, it was around 2 a.m., just by myself in another country. And I had to take two different buses. And okay, my job was here and I was living here, but to go in the line, I had to go this way, and then it was like a long, because they didn't have like one direct. So in the first one, let me in downtown, but it's dangerous at night, and a lot of homeless people, and it's like a very usual that people are smoking pot and everything. But for the other side, to pay a taxi was very expensive, so you have to do what you have to do. So I just standing up there, and sometimes the it's not like here that you have to, you know that the bus is going to come like at one time and it's coming. There it wasn't like that. They're supposed to be there, but sometimes it wasn't there. So one time I was there like maybe for 2 hours waiting and waiting, and a lot of homeless people and a lot of and some and at some time too many, and then nobody, and I was just like praying like please 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 just one. I just need one to go to my house. So when I went there, I realized that I can be independent and do my stuff, but I never thought about the other time that you spend with people that you know. I never thought about how it's gonna be when I need to do something that I always have someone with. Like in my country, if I was working at night or wherever, I always had a friend or my mother to pick me up and everything. But I never thought about that kind of stuff there. Like you don't have nobody to trust or nobody, even if you don't really trust, like nobody, not even for good or bad. So I think that made me feel like an adult.
Yeah, good.
Questions?